It's just 2 minutes to 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. We're live from the Nile Avenue, and we are going to be going through the UBC News tonight with me, Sharon Chondisha and Queen Elizabeth on sign language. In our top stories of the day, President Museveni has received and held a meeting with the United Kingdom Prime Minister's trade envoy to Uganda and Rwanda, Lord Dola Popat, who called on him yesterday at State House in Entebbe. The President and his guest was accompanied by the British High Commissioner to Uganda, Mr. Peter West, discussed issues relating to investments and economic development between Uganda and Britain, especially in the sector of agriculture, in which they noted Uganda has great potential. President Museveni informed Lord Popat that Uganda has gone an extra mile in churning out large quantities of agricultural and dairy products, but the challenge is the low prices on the internal market. He added that the immediate solution to this challenge is to process them and add value to them for export markets. Our farmers and processors of agriculture produce should adapt to the competitive world so that they are not eliminated in marketing, he stressed. Lord Popat and High Commissioner Peter West said that all that is required is for the produce from Uganda to meet both the European Union and United Kingdom uniform standards that pertains to food and beverage importance to Europe. Now, in more stories, again, former Chief Justice Benjamin Odochi has been installed as the first Chancellor of Lira University by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The President also presided over the university's first graduation ceremony of 150 pioneer graduates in the disciplines of Bachelor of Science in Public Health, Bachelor of Science in Community Psychology and Psychotherapy, Computer Science, Business Administration and Commerce, among others. The ceremony was held in Ayere village of Baropo sub-county in Lira district, Lango sub-region in northern Uganda. Education and Sports Minister Mrs. Janet Museveni was represented by the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo. The new Chancellor, Dr. Benjamin Odochi, commended the President for the keen interest in prioritizing education, adding that Lira University is already leading in many areas of innovation.
For a period of 4 years, with effect from the date of assumption of duty, signed Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of Uganda. I congratulate Dr. Benjamin Odochi for being installed as the Chancellor of Lira University. I congratulate the graduates, the ones who are about to graduate. As the Vice Chancellor said very well, you have been benefiting from other people's decisions. You are now going to have to make your own decisions. And the two are different. But the biggest decision you should make, as he told you, is to keep alive and healthy, because that is your own decision. Nobody can make it for you most of the time. So I wish you good luck, and I congratulate you, the graduates.
In more stories, the First Lady and Minister for Education, Janet Museveni, says the government is aware of the challenges and inadequacies of the current education system. She adds that there's a desire to see that the education system produces the human resource that will drive Uganda's socio-economic transformation by 2040. I beg your pardon now. Mrs. Janet Museveni said this at the closing of a two-day conference organized by the Center for Advanced Strategic Leadership and the Institute for National Transformation held at Mistill Hotel.
The First Lady and Minister of Education, Janet Museveni, says equitable and quality learning in education is a key driver of socio-economic progress. She notes that transforming the education system in Africa requires the wisdom of God to break the chains of the 400 years of slavery mentality. The First Lady was officiating at the closing of a 2-day conference that ran on the theme Education and African Futures.
The whole of Africa is at the threshold of her promised land, so to speak, because Africa has been walking in a maze of confusion, talking about the reduction of poverty as if we have to save some for another day. Yet we have all the wealth and resources needed to completely eradicate poverty, create high rate of economic gains, and change everything that needs to be changed.
The keynote speaker at the conference, Thomas Rodmick, an educationist from Canada, says the future of Africa lies in transforming the obsolete colonial-age education system to an individualized model that enables students and teachers to attain excellence.
So we have this notion that we can start with prototype schools, that we can build digital assets, and I'll go into more detail about what that is. We could transform the curriculum into a language that students can use. Our whole profound learning is about putting learning into the hands of students. Self-assessment tools come from this bank. Students are self-assessing who they are. Teachers begin designing brain-compatible learning. And by the way, our educational vision is not students sitting behind a computer. It's highly interactive. They're engaging. They're working with...
The Center for Advanced Strategic Leadership Board Chairman, James Magara, says that applying foresight in the development of human capital will enable African countries to harness the future.
We need what can you do? And that's the challenge we have. Instead of complaining, what can you do? And we want to do what we can to work alongside with the ministry in this regard, but also as we move on to other sectors in the future. That is our goal. What can we do to make a difference?
The 2-day conference brought together educationists and persons in the business of learning from across Africa to identify specific ways to better support the provision of equitable and quality education given the future of the continent. Remija Simbonye, UBC News.
About 526 billion Ugandan shillings has been gazetted to pay veterans across the country and has been put by the government. State Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Lieutenant Colonel Bright Ramirama, has revealed the government has put aside a budget to cater for over 73,000 veterans across the country. Details follow.
About 11,000 veterans are to benefit from the 526 billion this financial year. State Minister for Veterans, Lieutenant Colonel Bright Ramirama, says at least 91 billion has already been secured to pay 11,000 veterans. The minister was speaking to veterans in Tororo district, where he launched district veteran circles.
These are files which have been audited and cleaned. We have put all the necessary records in the file, and we think these ones should be paid.
While addressing Tororo District veterans, the State Minister for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Mr. Bright Ramirama, informed them that government had already secured the money. Clear them.
Because we are targeting about to now remaining is 73,000 veterans, and this includes gratuity and pension.
Ramirama says at least 73,000 veterans will be paid off beginning of this financial year. Veterans reported some issues affecting them ever since they were laid off duty. RDC Tororo Nixon Owole challenged veterans to continue being exemplary, just as they did in the forces.
The future is very bright for you people. Therefore, guide it jealously. Don't go outside there and behave like people who do not have hope.
At the same function, the minister commissioned the veteran circle at a Guru Technical School, where he gave in 2 million shillings to support the veteran circle. He also met the widows and orphans of veterans and donated over 5 electric sewing machines. The over 500 billion budget is going to pay veterans gratuity and pension. Story compiled by David Ocheng for UBC TV News.
Thank you, Susan Naonge. Police in Kisoro district is investigating circumstances under which a 23-year-old man, Alex Musimenta, a resident of Musezero village in Kisoro district, was murdered. Alex Musimenta was murdered by unknown persons and the body was dumped in a banana plantation near Lake Murehe.
In Kisoro district went missing on Thursday and was discovered dead on Friday morning. Sarafina Nyirampolanzi, a mother of the deceased, says Musimenta went missing on Thursday around 8 p.m. only to be pronounced dead. Some eyewitnesses say they saw him being beaten by 6 people who accused him of stealing sugarcane. Area local leaders condemned the killing and argued against mob justice. Police has arrested and detained 4 people, including 1 woman, to help in the investigation. The body of the deceased was also taken to Kisoro Hospital for post-mortem. Meanwhile, police in Kisoro is also hunting for a man who killed his wife and abandoned the body in the house. 47-year-old Christopher Ramafa, resident of Kabuga in Muganza Parish, Kisoro district, allegedly disagreed with his wife before murdering her. Police reached the scene and took the body to Kisoro Hospital. Story compiled by Kata Tuzarire for UBC TV News.
A funeral service for the late Leonard Asangai Machika has been held at the Church of Resurrection, Bugolobi. The late Leonard is also the former budget officer at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, who succumbed to cancer of the liver from Mulago Cancer Institute on Wednesday this week. Take a look.
We have all spent times of joy and sorrow with him. Though he is dead, but we still stand here.
Gone too soon was the message in the ears of mourners who gathered at Church of Resurrection Bugolobi to bid farewell to the late Leonard Machika Asingai.
I'm still in the land of the living. I'm going to be strong. All my confidence has been in the Lord.
The late Asingai Leonard died of cancer of the liver this Wednesday at Mulago Hospital, a condition he lived for some time.
He was referred to Cancer Institute. Meanwhile, all this while, they were trying to rehydrate him. They said there is no other therapy that we can start because even medicine itself can be of critical incidence on his life.
Reverend Simon Peter Omoding led the funeral service that was attended by family members, employees of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, where he was working, members of parliament, among others.
As the sisters led the rest, as the Director of Finance and Administration UBC concludes, we will ask
the Associate Vicar at Church of Resurrection Bugolobi, Reverend Janet Kayondo, who was also the preacher, used the opportunity to create awareness of the need by the public to embrace testing for cancer disease.
There is no now drum for cancer. And you know that cancer is claiming more people than HIV/AIDS? And we don't see it as a threat. And you're allowing so many things to come and we just take. No sensitization, no research. Now there are some people who can afford cancer. Cancer is not affordable. Now the poor folks in the village, they don't afford cancer. You only need to say this is witchcraft and wickedness. And you go in and pray and fast and many things when actually it is cancer.
Honorable Tezra Jamwa represented Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Board and narrated the last days of Leonard in office.
In Leonard, the family has lost a son, a brother, a father, an uncle, and a husband. In Leonard, UBC has lost one of its most valuable resources, a team player, a friend, a colleague, and comrade. In Leonard, the country has lost its valuable resource, a young man with big dreams.
The managing director, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Winston Agaba, said the late Leonard contributed to a number of plans at UBC and is hopeful that the ideas will be adapted to achieve the station's mission.
The plans that he laid are going to guide us for the years to come. Alan, I want to thank you. They've said it's not usual that everyone stands by their partner and lives to those vows. Alan made sure Leonard had a meal every day at the office.
The late Leonard Machika will be buried at his ancestral home in Kajuru Village, Tororo District on Saturday, 2nd November 2019.
And I still want to thank all of you who will still continue with us up to Tororo. God bless you all.
Daniel Mugoya reporting for UBC.
Now, the Baswezi have today given Jaja Budagali's spirits revival blood following the demise of the spiritual leader, Livingstone Budagali. The function was held at the shores of the river in Budodo sub-county. In more news, students have been encouraged to be patriotic in their professions, remain calm and avoid engaging in demonstrations, among others, this to enable quality services. Now, this was in the message by the Bishop of Chi in the Mityana Diocese, Joseph Anthony Ziwa, to the graduates of Mityana Agrovet Institute and Mityana Institute of Nursing and Midwifery during the graduation ceremony of over 1,300 graduates.
The Bishop of Chinda Mityana Diocese, Dr. Joseph Anthony Ziwa, has encouraged students who completed their studies and those at training always to be humble, and also asked them to embrace the knowledge acquired, not forgetting that their professions are guided by ethics. This was contained in the Bishop's message delivered for him by Reverend Father Dr. Michael Mukasa during the graduation ceremony of Mityana Institute of Nursing and Midwifery and Mityana Agrovet Institute, where 1,300 graduates were awarded with certificates and diplomas. The function started with colorful mass, which also coincided with 340 graduates awarded certificates in nursing and midwifery, and 960 were awarded certificates and diplomas in agriculture and animal husbandry.
We want to pray that the Lord may continue to shower His blessings upon you and the institutes. We want to pray that they continue to excel and succeed in everything that you do. We want to pray that they become the best institutes that they can become in this area of Mityana and Novemberr.
The managing director of the two institutes, John Chin, to advise the graduates to get experience and capital to create their own jobs for the betterment of their future.
Now this is the right time to harvest. And I would like to give you the assurance that the fruits you are getting from us are going to be sweet and they are going to be highly demanded at the market. That is the assurance.
He, however, cautioned them against joining politics immediately after their studies, which will divert them from their professions. Graduates attested that their success is hinged on their hard-working parents, the institute administration, and above all, faith in God.
As I am midwife from the Tena Institute of Nursing and Midwifery, my future prospects would be, I would like to have a maternity center because of what I am right now.
We finally make it through hard work, to cooperating with them, listening, discipline, work.
I'm Navka Farida and Salongo Kasvante.
We'll take a short break and we'll be back with more news for you.
Mommy, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. Daddy, what's wrong?
I've had a long day, Angel, and I have a bad headache.
Oh, I'll give you something that will make you feel better if you promise to play with us.
Headache? Toothache. Unapoumwa, unataka kitulizo kwa haraka gani? Mara moja. Pain and Fever Reliever. A quality product from Beta Healthcare contains paracetamol, caffeine, and aspirin. Beta Healthcare. Caring for all. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Hello, Uganda! We introduce to you the first and ever My Right to Play Christmas Kids Festival 2019. Let the kids feel the Christmas Eve on the 21st of December at the Legend Sports Ground in Lugogo. Entrance is 10,000 shillings only and parents free. Bring your child and have an opportunity to play, sing, dance and discover their talents. Mujjetu ingira mazalibwa nga bato basanyisa bato bannabwe. Mulete abaana bammwe banyumirwe banywe bazanye. Kino kigenda kubeera kijjobe. Proudly sponsored by Legend Sports Ground, UBC TV, Star TV, U24 TV, Star FM, Magic 100 FM, UBC Butebo, MM Marketing, UMC Victoria Hospital, and Ideas Workshop. Bw'oyagala omwana okuyimba kuba ku ssimu eno.
Does heartburn stop you from eating the things you love? Eating too fast, alcohol, or spicy food can trigger acidity, heartburn, indigestion, or flatulence. Your best bet is Better Cool. Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn, and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice. This weekend on UBC.
My name is Mkaiv Hannington, winner of the NSSF Friends with Benefits Season 2.
Congratulations, Hannington!
I used my winnings to boost my agriculture production and give a chance to the people in my community to work.
So join us this year for the third season of the NSSF Friends with Benefits, as 16 Ugandans share inspirational stories on how they use their NSSF benefits to do life-changing things. So tune in every Sunday with your host, Gaetano, and I, and special new host, Uncle D. It's another incredible display. It's the NSSF Friends with Benefits.
And that's not all. You have the power to vote for your favorite stories to win up to 55 million shillings, just like Huntington. This show is brought to you by
NSSF, a better life.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and our business stories. Buganda Kingdom and Uganda Breweries have extended their Ngule Beer partnership to 2022. Now the partnership seeks to raise income levels for farmers growing cassava and sorghum, the main ingredients of the alcoholic beverage, and also strengthen the mutual relationship between the two institutions. Details follow.
In January 2016, Uganda Breweries Limited and Buganda Kingdom entered a partnership to produce the Ngule beer. The partnership consisted of a revenue sharing agreement that is beneficial to both entities.
We shall keep our part of the bargain
And I'm sure we shall both enjoy the benefit that arises from working within, acceptable standards. Like the CEO of Majestic Brands told you, we are the bridge to the market.
In the last 3 years, the kingdom has earned at least 1.602 billion shillings in royalties. As the product becomes popular and the socio-economic impact appreciated, the two entities have extended their partnership for 3 more years.
We have about 1,000 farmers coming from the Buganda kingdom who grow cassava that is used in Angule. We have another 17,000 farmers across the patch in Uganda who grow sorghum and barley that is used to brew and manufacture ngule.
Ngule is a 100% locally produced beer whose main ingredients are cassava and sorghum, exclusively sourced from the Ugandan farmers. While cementing UBL and Buganda's business partnership in Bulangi Mengo, the Katikiro, Charles Peter Mahiga, cautioned the public against alcoholism.
The consumption of ngule should be done as an act of social engagement, not as an addiction or some kind of habit. We don't want people to say, I cannot sleep unless I take 3 bottles of ngule.
The partnership is a proactive strategy geared at raising income levels for both the kingdom and its people. Denis Igoma for UBC Business.
Rwanda has become the first African country to introduce the Volkswagen brand electric car, whose pilot project phase was officially launched today. At the official launch of the Volkswagen and Siemens joint electric mobility pilot project, Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente said that the project is in line with the country's national strategy for transformation. In more stories, the Council of Sovereignty Ministers and Forces of Freedom and Change are discussing in a joint meeting the success of the transition period. The tripartite joint meeting, which included the Council of Sovereignty and the Council of Ministers and representatives of the Forces of Freedom and Change in the Republican Palace, on the importance of coordination between them for the success of the transitional period and achieve the goals of the revolution which killed the martyrs. Minister of Culture and Information Faizo Muhammad Saleh said that this meeting is the first of its kind and lasted for more than 3 hours, during which many issues were discussed. Faizo explained that a tripartite coordination committee was formed comprising 4 members from each component, 4 members of the Sovereign Council, 4 members of the Cabinet and 4 members of the Freedom and Change Forces. This committee will be responsible for discussing all the files and issues and forming joint committees. In our sports stories, Uganda Paralympic Committee is hosting a 3-day technical para sport workshop at Hotel African Adapt Proud Paralympian. The participants are para-athletes and representatives of the International Paralympic Committee with the aim of discussing a deeper understanding of their roles and reach an action plan.
South Africa, USA, Germany, Lesotho, Zambia, Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe, Guinea are some of the countries discussing to lay strategies on how to increase awareness on persons living with disabilities in sports amongst all the member states on the International Paralympic Committee. Natalia Dutoit, athlete representative on the International Paralympic Committee, asserts that holding such meetings help empower athletes to believe that the impossible is achievable by believing that it is possible, as she explains.
Uganda putting up their hand and being willing to host a workshop for Africa and bringing together athletes representatives from around Africa and ultimately starting the conversations. I represent the International Paralympic Committee's Athletes Council, but this workshop is actually in partnership with the IPC, or the International Paralympic Committee, and the Agitos Foundation, which is sort of the development arm of it, but the funding arm and the, if I can say, the arm that is the ability that brings everyone together. So it's really great to be here and to be able to chat to the representatives all over Africa in terms of what is an athlete representative, in terms of how do we communicate, how can we come together and create a network of athletes who will ultimately have a voice and share that with the athletes representatives, and that will then share it with the Athletes Council, and the council can then take it to the International Paralympic Committee. So it really is putting Africa on the map, and you know, we really have to say thank you to Uganda. And
she further noted that there is need to train about people on how to manage para-athletes so as to bridge the gap of stigmatization in sports.
Creating opportunities, creating positives. So yes, we're all learning in the process, and you know, we're all involved. It might be you know, an International Paralympic Committee that sits in Germany, the Agitos Foundation that sits in Germany. However, when we come to Africa, we're all about Africa, and we all get involved, we all get working, and we also would like some information in how we can help.
Uganda hosting such events creates more opportunities to para-athletes in the country, as Mpindi Bumali, President Uganda Paralympic Committee, emphasizes.
The overall objective of this is to have the athletes' voice everywhere, in the meetings, in competitions, everywhere, to have the athletes' voice. And when the athletes' voice is heard, then definitely the athletes will be proud, and then the morale will be built.
So the workshop is very, very important to some of us. In fact, it's a long dream some of us have been getting before, because it's our first time of attending to such workshop. And we're looking forward to have this kind of privilege and opportunity so that we can be able to learn a lot of principles and concepts that are binding towards the sport itself, Paralympic. And so to me, it's a very good thing, because I've achieved a lot, I've learned a lot. I've learned new things that I've never taught before. And so the workshop actually makes a lot of difference in my life, because it provides a platform for us to actually, meet with new athletes from other.
The event is spearheaded by Agitos, an international body aiming at ensuring that para-athletes get the same opportunities as the abled. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Jesus.
The national cricket team has been flagged off to Zimbabwe for trials ahead of the ICC Men's Challenge League. The team will undergo a series of trial games before heading for the main hurdle due on the 30th to the 13th of December. 16 players were called on the team, including Roger Mkasa, Ham Kayondo, Fred Achelam and Arnold Otwani.
You don't know how good or bad you are until you have been tested. So I would think that these build-up games a very good opportunity for us to go and try out our players, so that we get to know where we have missing gaps, so that we can be able to work on those gaps before we get into the other more serious championships that are going to be in Oman. So this is an opportunity for us to try out our players, to expose them, and also to interact and get experience from other players.
Yeah, basically the trial games will help us in getting a few combinations working together. We have been practicing. We have a new style of play we want to implement. So the trial games have come at the right time before we head to Oman. They will help us get a few combinations going. Yeah, these are the same players we've been using for the past 3 years. I think they've learned a lot from the previous tournaments, and we played badly in the last tournament, but we learned a lot from it, and we have worked on the mistakes, and we're ready to go again this time to win.
Let's take a look at the weather forecast by Julie Adituela.
Well, Welcome once again to the weather report. I'm Alitwela Juliet from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Today, most parts of the country have had sunny intervals with light rains, and from the rainfall report received by 9 a.m. this morning, it is indicating Masindi with 16.5 millimeters, Mbarara with 13.2, Bududa 11.3, whereas Bushenyi reported 10 millimeters of rainfall. From the satellite image taken over Africa, it is indicating the rain belt still over our country and contributing to these wet activities we are still experiencing. For tomorrow morning, we are expecting light rains for areas around Lake Victoria Basin, together with those in Gulu. Elsewhere, we shall have partly cloudy skies. Later in the afternoon, we expect rains in most parts of the country, apart from the Karamoja region and West Nile, where we are expecting sunny intervals. The maximum temperatures will go up to 28 degrees centigrade for the Karamoja region. Around Lake Victoria Basin, we are expecting a maximum of 27, together with Kampala, our capital city. And for those in Kabale, we are expecting a maximum of 22 degrees centigrade. And if you intend to travel beyond Uganda, we are expecting light rains in Kigali and in Madrid, where we are expecting the maximum to go up to 18 degrees centigrade. Cloudy conditions are anticipated for Tokyo and Vienna, whereas sunny intervals are the focus for Dodoma. Thank you for keeping us company. That's what we had in store for you today. Have a blessed night.
Thank you, Julia Lichbera, for the weather report. Now, that's all we had for you for now. Thank you so much for watching UBC News tonight. My name is Sharon Chondisha with Nakakone Elizabeth on Sign Language. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way. And